What up, everybody? It's your girl JoJo of JoJo's Replay, and I am here to tell you about OAT, Official America's Team. It is a platform built for fans, by fans, and it's all about Cowboys Nation, baby. We got so many big-time personalities like yours truly, Tyson West Coast from Dallas Cowboys Scouting, Silver and Blue Nation headed by Big Game James, and the president and CEO himself, Barry Gibson, the guy that's bringing us all together and making all of this happen. Go subscribe. Go be a supporter. You know it's all about Cowboys Nation and about this chase for number 6, baby. And OAT is the hub to connect us all. So I'm telling you right now, go join. Go subscribe, because here at OAT, baby, we making big moves, because OAT is our business, and our business is our swag.
Top of the morning, y'all. It's your boy, B Jizzle, and we're live, back in the lab here, streaming live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and I am a bearer of bad news here today. I'm sure many of the diehards in circles out there have heard the terrible news of the passing of one of our most beloved Dallas Cowboy fans. Here it is. Y'all listen in and we'll discuss.
We do have some breaking news right now for the Dallas Cowboy family. The death of a Cowboy superfan. Family members say that Carolyn Price has died. People with the organization knew her simply as Miss Price. She was a yearly visitor to training camp in Oxnard and was on a first-name basis, that is, with owner Jerry Jones and many of the players with the organization. We're working to confirm the circumstances around her death for you this morning.
Sad day, y'all. Very sad day, and I wanted to take some time this morning to dedicate a tribute to Mrs. Price for all of the Dallas Cowboy fans out there that may have shared a moment with her, had an experience with her. You have a favorite memory of her, and if that is the case, I will be sharing the link down in the comments below for any of the fans out there that would like to come up and express their condolences or share their memories of Mrs. Price in remembrance of her. You know, Mrs. Price is a very prominent Dallas Cowboy fan. I was fortunate to have met her years ago at the NFL draft in 2018. And I'll share more of my story here as we get into it this morning. But top of the morning, it's your boy B Jizzle. We are streaming live. This is not good news, but one thing is for certain, y'all. We are all born to eventually die. And eventually we will all gain our wings and travel on to the next lifetime. And unfortunately for today, Mrs. Price has taking her fandom for the Dallas Cowboys into the heavens above. So we know that her and all the others are looking down upon the Cowboys, especially this coming season. So will the Cowboys make a remembrance or do a tribute to her? We don't know. This is all pretty fresh. This is coming out within the last 48 hours or so. So I send my condolences to the Price family. You know, I've reached out to the Price family. I'm looking for some other information on services and also maybe how we can support that. So stay tuned. I have not received any word back from the family, but Mrs. Price has gone and left us. So if you're tapping in this morning, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it is what it is. This has just came out over the last 48 hours, and I wanted to set this up today, and I'm going to invite you to come on the show this morning to talk about your experiences with Mrs. Price, if you'd like to, and or you can just leave a comment in the comments down there below if you're scrolling by and you'd like to share a memory of Mrs. Price. This is what this video is specifically about. I will be sharing more details about her book. She did write a book called Priceless Dream. I did read that book. She did autograph her book for me back in 2018. I will share that here later on in the show, so that way you could purchase that book and buy it. I would encourage you to do so, especially to learn from one fan's perspective what it's like. I mean, y'all got to understand Mrs. Price has been around since 1960, when the Cowboys first started playing, you know, when the Cowboys just became the Dallas Cowboys, right? She is the OG boots on ground. And I've had many run-ins with her out in the fan base. And I know many of y'all have too. And this is what this show is for today. But let's get some shout outs to see who's rolling with us. Hey, Sarah, good morning. How we doing? I know you got a chance to meet her out there at the Hall of Fame, Canton, in 2021. Good morning, Kels. How we doing? I know a lot of folks are in shock now. You know, it was recently that there was some news going around that Mrs. Price had been sick. Now, don't quote me on this, but I'm not certain. But what I've been reading is she was battling with cancer. And so she had been battling that recently. I know the news has not, clarified that just yet, but I believe that may be the cause. But she had been battling cancer, and I think I read somewhere that she had finally lost her battle to cancer. So yes, very shocking, very sad news. Sarah says she was so much fun and full of spunk. She was trying to hustle me. Excuse me. She was trying to hustle me for my cane. I remember that. Both of y'all out there in Canton with the canes. Yeah, she was trying to get that cane off. She says, I always remember going back and forth about my cane. Yeah, I think that was a pretty unique situation. Thanks for sharing that as well, Mama. Good morning, Smack Talk. How we doing? Appreciate you tapping in. If y'all don't know who Smack Talk is, Smack Talk will be joining us on position predictions here on week 2 as we get ready to kick off week 1 on Sunday. But today we are honoring and remembering the life of Mrs. Price. Now, this is one of the reasons why I started the blog OAT, Official America's Team. The only blog sharing stories about Dallas Cowboy fans 365 days a year. We focus on the fans. Most websites focus on the players, focus on the game, focus on strategy, focus on news and things like that. Our focus here at OAT has been fans. And in 2017, we featured Mrs. Price as one of the first, if not the first fan on our blog, Official America's Team. So I've got this link up here. Meet Miss Price. I will be sharing this in the comments here below so that way y'all can get to it during your reading pleasure time. But rightfully so, the OG boots on ground, we had to feature her in OAT first. I thought it was only fitting, the OG boots on ground. Y'all hear me say that a lot. Boots on ground. What does that mean? Well, boots on ground. Yeah, boots on the ground is a military term, but boots on ground for Cowboy fans is literally fans in the dirt, fans in the trenches, fans at events, fans at games, fans not just on the couch at the house supporting their team, which that's perfectly fine. You can do that. But boots on ground fans, the OG boots on ground is Momma Price. Not only did she know many of the players, she was on a first name basis with Jerry Jones. Kelly says she has so many stories meeting her. I'm sure everybody does. I have plenty of stories too. And if you'd like to share your story, just put link in the comments below so I know that you want the link. I'll share the link in the comments. You can join the show and share your story as we go through this tribute here today for Mrs. Price. But going through the article, yeah, we wanted to share Mrs. Price's story, because that's what we do at Official America's Team, because eventually one day we will no longer be here, right? And this is a picture of her and I at 2018 at the NFL draft. This is her book, Priceless Dream. I think I bought it in 2017 on Amazon. I'll share that link here shortly, but that link to the story is now in the comments if you want to check it out on the only blog talking about Cowboy fans 365 days a year. Mrs. Price, lovely, came out to our fan event. This was a NFL fan-driven event at Boston Sports Bar right down the street from Arlington, or the stadium there in Arlington at AT&T. But she came out and she brought her books out. For those fans that did read her book, she did sign books that were there. She happened to sign my book, and it was a great read. A lot of history with Mrs. Price and the Dallas Cowboys in between those pages of that book. They say if you ever want to hide a secret from somebody, you put it in a book, right? Well, she shared her priceless dream when it came to the Cowboys, going all the way back to 1960. And I wanted to show her some respect. And she signed my book and shared some words of wisdom with me. She actually inspired me to start writing. Yes, this was in 2018 at the NFL draft. We started OAT in 2016. Mrs. Price was featured in 2017 in our blog. So that link is down in the comments below. If you have ever been to a game, at the Miller Lite Club, right behind the players' bench, that is where Momma Price's corner is at. If you've been to the Miller Lite Club, or if you've been down there during the game when the Cowboys are coming in and out of the locker room, you have probably heard Miss Price say, "How about them Cowboys?" You've probably heard her a time or two. But this coming September, Miss Price will no longer be in Mrs. Price's corner. And I'm telling the Dallas Cowboys, look, we got to do a tribute for Mrs. Price and all of her years of being boots on ground for this fan base. I think it would be only right, but this is still fresh. And like we said, we'll learn more as the days go on. But a big military supporter, as you see her pictured here, for Salute to Service, military and her family. You know, overall great fan. Morning, Jalen. How we doing? Morning, top of the morning. How we doing, Michael? Appreciate you tapping in. Sarah says Sterling. Oh, she's tagging folks. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. King Sharon in the building, official sponsor for 2025 Gym Rat in a Year is in the building. Appreciate you tapping in to show your respects this morning. Good morning, Joseph. How we doing? Top of the morning. But do you have a favorite Mrs. Price memory? Do you have a favorite Mrs. Price memory? Put link in the comments below. I'll share the link if you'd like to come up on here and share your experience with Mrs. Price. But if you're just tapping in top of the morning, let me know the comments are working. We're streaming live on 3 platforms. We're live on LinkedIn, Facebook. Shout out to Build Different Group. Thank you to all of our Build Different Group supporters. Without you, Position Predictions 2.0 would not be kicking off. With my girl Kales in the comments below. We'll be live this Sunday with BPA. So special shout out to all of our Green Badge supporters on Build Different Group. Shout out to all of our subs on YouTube. Appreciate everybody. Our views are starting to go up on YouTube, so we appreciate everybody tapping in on the videos every week. Make sure you press like and share and leave us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. And then also all of the professionals on LinkedIn. We appreciate y'all tapping in. But if you've got a favorite memory, a personal memory, something that you would like to share about Mrs. Price, put link in the comments below and I'll share the link. And you are more than welcome to come up and join me and share your experiences. And while we're waiting for those comments to come in, we'll share a short video to give you a little insight of who Miss Price was, according to Dallas Morning News, in case you're not familiar.
Tony Ramo! Dad! People more than one to walk up and ask me to dial their number, and they have Prince as a ringtone. A lot of them have Tony Ramo. Tony Ramo! I said, he said, "Damn, Miss Price, you dial my number?" I said, "Yes." "Why you want me to dial your number?" He said, "Just dial it." And when it rings, it says my voice. Look at me, look at me. Hey, boy, let me hug you. Here we go. I travel on my money when I go to train. That's my vacation. I don't want to go to Hawaii. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to go to Maine. I want to go to wherever the Cowboys are training. I'm a lady that's having fun. I used to scream. Deion Sanders was a great player, but his legs were horrible. They looked like little toothpicks. And I was still, and I flew way out here to see your legs, and the players just loved it, you know. Flozell Adams and all of them, they would just laugh. I prayed that and all the players, I think on all of them, Brandon Carr, Sean Lee, it's a whole team. I just feel we may make it all the way. I really do. I prayed and asked God to let us do that. I would like to see Tony play in the playoffs. That's what I want to see. I have been around him so long. And I know it's about winning. And that, all those guys, they know I love them. There's no doubt. I just want to see. I would like to see Dad go out there like in the playoff, in the Super Bowl, and kick it up to about 30-7 in the middle of the fourth quarter. And let Tony come in and play. He's been through a lot. He had to hold that team down a whole lot.
Bless her heart. She has held down this fan base, literally, you know. Eric Serrato tapping into OG from training camp says, "Oh my God, I think I actually met her at Oxnard training camp." Probably did. She was a mainstay fixture there at training camp. You heard her I don't want to go to Hawaii. I don't want to go to Miami. I want to go where them Cowboys is at. Gotta love that woman's passion for this team. She was screaming at Zeke one year, had everyone cracking up in the stands. She will be missed. Yeah, that's most likely Miss Price. That is most likely Miss Price. But if you have a favorite memory, this is the tribute here this morning. We're streaming live on 3 platforms. We're remembering the Dallas Cowboys #1 fan. That's right. You know, that #1 fan, I know for a fact, rubbed a lot of fans the wrong way. Because people want to get caught up in the #1 fan title. Everybody wants to be the #1 fan. Everybody claims they're the #1 fan. Well, there was only one #1 fan, and still is, and that is Momma Price, going back all the way to 1960. The OG boots on ground. She's been around doing it the longest. She set the example. She created the blueprint for a lot of us. A lot of you super fans have learned from Mrs. Price in quiet. And now is your time today in public to give her her flowers. So if you learned something from Miss Price, if Miss Price shared a memory with you, if you got a memory that you would like to share with us, let us know in the comments below. And if you'd like to join me on the show, I'll post the link in the comments, and you're more than welcome to come up here and join me. Sarah says, who needs Hawaii? I'm going where my boys at. I felt that in my soul. Hello, you know what I mean? Like training camp, August, here I come, right? I'm with you. Michelle tapping in from ATL says, being the Cowboys community, her name and energy were known. This says a lot about the kind of person she was. R.I.P. Miss Price, most definitely. If you are a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan, you most likely have heard the name Miss Price, or you've heard Miss Price say, Tony Romo. You heard her. She had a ringtone. Oh, what other fans got ringtones? But we're celebrating the life of Mrs. Price here today. Kelly says, me hearing her scream, Dez will always be with me. Yeah, she was very, very, she interacted with players a lot. If you read her book, which, by the way, let me get that link and I'll just show you up here. If you're on Amazon, you can order the book today. I'll put the link down in the comments below. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, you like to read books, I encourage you to get a glimpse into this woman's soul. You know, there's a lot of fans that didn't like Miss Price because she called herself the #1 fan. Well, you need to get out your feelings and maybe get a little insight if that was you. But Priceless Dream, the story of the Dallas Cowboys #1 fan. Yeah, she shares a lot of things that happened during the 90s and the 80s with the Dallas Cowboys with one Michael Irvin. If you remember, Michael Irvin was in and out of some things while he was with the Cowboys, like the White House and things like that. But yeah, she shares a lot of gems about the Dallas Cowboy fan base and also a lot of photos with players who called her Momma Price because she was literally there for them. Once they got to the team, they always seen her at all of the events and always heard her, and she would engage with them and basically become like a mother-like figure for most players in that locker room. But here is the Amazon link below. It says Miss Carolyn Price has become synonymous with her hometown's NFL team, the Dallas Cowboys. She's a friend of the owner and his family, a mother figure to players, a cheerleader on game day, and so much more. That's right. You can actually write a book about being a Dallas Cowboy fan. You can write a book about being an NFL fan. You can write a book about whatever you're passionate about. And when I read Mrs. Price's book, she's the one that inspired me to become a writer, to start the blog, to tell the stories of fans. And that's why OAT is up and running since 2016. So special thank you to all of our Patreon supporters on OAT. The 20-plus Patreon supporters, State Board of Governors, and Raise the Bar members have kept the lights on to keep the stories of those fans like Mrs. Price alive. That link is down there in the comments below. If you have a Miss Price memory, do me a favor, share it in the comments below and let me know. Yeah, sad day today on Tuesday as we remember Mrs. Carolyn Price. Now, obviously, you know, I send my condolences to the Price family. Like I said, I've reached out to them. I'm waiting on word to see if there's any way that we can maybe help raise some funds for the funeral services, or when and where the funeral service is going to take place. I do not have that information. I'm certain that the family will share that once that they get it out. I have not heard back from the family on that matter. But let's take a look into another tidbit of Mrs. Price with interactions of players to gain some insight on who this woman actually was.
All right, we're going into our 2015 season, and we are really, really excited. I don't know if you're true blue Cowboy fans, you know who number 26 is, Mr. Kevin Smith. I thank God for that. Going in here to do the job we need to do. Finish up where we left off last year. How about those doggone Cowboys?
Miss Price, I heard you was out there at training camp every practice.
Man, let me tell you something. I told Charlotte Jones, I said, look, Charlotte, tell Tony I'm running out of money. We gotta come on with it.
Yeah.
I tell you, I was listening to the TV this morning when Jimmy and all of them were talking. And it's something about America's team that we get so hyped. Do you know that this game here, Kevin, is going to generate more revenue? This late night opening game for the Dallas Cowboys, America's team is going to generate more revenue than some playoff games. How about those doggone Cowboys? Right. I'm telling you, it's some good stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing is, all we got to do, our boys concentrate, play ball, and we got it going on. Time to win one, dog. We got to go for it.
Oh, you just got to love her energy, man. It's just infectious. Her energy is just infectious. Talk about somebody representing their team. Somebody who said they would rather go where the Cowboys are at than to Miami or to Hawaii, like my girl Prototype shares. You got to respect Miss Price just like you're supposed to respect the star. Well, you're 100% right. But I do know that for a fact that's hard for some fans to swallow because of that whole number one thing. But we're not going to get into that. I don't want to get messy here today. Those fans know exactly who I'm talking to. Those fans have came to me and told me personally how they felt about it. But if you learned something from Mrs. Price, if Miss Price helped you along the way, I want to hear from you today. What did she give back to you as a fan? Let me know in the comments below. Like I said, her book, Miss Price's book, Priceless Dream, was the inspiration to help me, start the blog OAT and put ebooks up on Amazon and things like that. She created the blueprint. She blazed the trail for other fans like myself. And that's what's important, because a lot of you are out there blazing trails similar to like Mrs. Price did. So she helped you along the way, or if you have a memory or whatnot, let us know in the comments below as we have a tribute today for the Dallas Cowboys #1 fan. Yeah, they created a GoFund page when she was sick, yes. But I've not seen that shared since her passing. But thank you for that update. Appreciate that. I'm sure we'll be seeing that here shortly. As soon as I can get that, I will share it into the group. But in other news, I guess we could talk about a little bit of Cowboy news, right? Y'all want to talk a little bit of Cowboy news? In the process, you can share your experience or your memories with Mrs. Price in the comments below. But what did Sean Lee have to say? Who remembers the general? Anybody remember the general? Sean Lee, Mr. Film Study himself, Mr. Defense. The general. How many of y'all remember Sean Lee? Number 50, not 50 Cent, but 50 Sean Lee. Yeah, this is per the Dallas Cowboys website per yesterday. Sean Lee, Cowboys are going to bounce back and have a huge year. He thinks the defense is going to be a little bit better than it was last year. Quote unquote, he says, I love the Cowboys through and through, Lee said. Every single game, every single play. Love the Cowboys, love the fans, and excited to watch the team next year. They're going to bounce back and have a huge year. Anybody drinking the Kool-Aid that Sean Lee, General Lee, is serving up on our defense here today as we honor and tribute Mrs. Price, the Dallas Cowboys #1 fan? Let us know in the comments below. What up, Starboy? We see you in the building. Shout out to Starboy out there in the DFW. We see you tapping in. Morning, Rayshawn. How we doing? But yeah, the general is up on the Dallas Cowboys official site.com. Now, we'll share this link in the comments below because y'all know I'm not going to read through the whole link. This was published on the Dallas Cowboys site yesterday. And y'all know we're getting ready to come up on the draft, right? Which, by the way, if you have not been counting, we are 211 days away from the kickoff. Now, did y'all see, as we get ready to go through the rest of this, did y'all see, now that the Seattle Seahawks have won the Super Bowl, right? Now we're in a new year, y'all. It's our year till it ain't. That was last year. Guess what, Eagle fans? Y'all can't be talking about that old dusty-ass ring from 2 years ago. That shit don't count no more. It don't count no more. But now that Seattle has won the Super Bowl, guess who the Cowboys got to play next year in Seattle? If you've been keeping up with your Cowboys, who plays the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle next season? Let me know in the comments below. I want to hear from y'all. Yeah, the Seahawks, they got to open up against somebody, right? Do y'all remember last year when my girl Kales with the Intels was in the comments, let us know that Jera went to the league and said, hey, I want Cowboys versus Eagles on opening night. Could the Cowboys open up on opening night 2 years in a row? Well, in case you haven't been keeping up with your Cowboys like I have, and that's why you follow, so make sure you hit notifications and turn that on, baby, so you can be informed on them boys as we celebrate the life of Mrs. Price here today during this tribute. Turn on your notifications to keep up to date. But the Cowboys got to travel to Seattle next season. That's right. Could the Cowboys open up against the Super Bowl defending champion Seattle Seahawks on Thursday Night Football this season? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below as you're thinking about your favorite Mrs. Price memory. I want to hear from y'all. Now, if you're tapping in, I need some engagement. Don't be over here look-a-hooing. Don't be scared. Even if you're a fan from the other 31, if you'd like to share a memory of meeting Mrs. Price, that's totally cool. We'll keep it football here today with y'all. Share your Mrs. Price memory down there below. Also going on to Sean Lee, what he had to say, quote unquote, getting the coordinator in, getting the personnel healthy again. I think we're a lot of games where they had a lot of personnel in and out and a lot of people who weren't healthy, he said. Getting some continuity with a new coordinator, drafting some guys, bringing some guys in. I think the defense is going to bounce back quick because the talent is there. Man, this Kool-Aid that Sean Lee is serving up, it tastes good, don't it? It tastes real good right about now. I'm drinking it because the Cowboys got money in the bank. We got picks on the board. Got free agency coming up. You know, we've been hearing about George Pickens getting franchise tag, which has not officially happened yet. Of course, you got the franchise tag dates coming up, which Kels has shared with us here before. There is a franchise tag window on the unrestricted and restricted free agents. So we'll be talking more about that on Sunday. So look for more intels on my girl Kels on Sunday concerning the George Pickens extension, franchise tag, trade. I've heard all three in the media, but according to one of our, loyal reporters on the fan base have been reporting on the Dallas Cowboys located in Frisco for 30 plus years. And Mike Fisher, he was the first to break that the Cowboys were leaning towards tagging Pickens to begin with. That first easy step is to tag Pickens. But should we tag, pay, or trade Pickens? Below, I'll throw another comment, throw another question out there to folks tapping in. Come on now. I need y'all to answer. Come on. Need you to engage here, baby. We're going to talk a little bit of Cowboys. And in the meantime, you can throw up your Mrs. Price memories there. But that link is down there in the comments below on Sean Lee talking about the defense, quote unquote. He said, from a standpoint of skill set, a guy who is instinctual, a guy who's quick, a guy who loves to hit, Lee said. And then ultimately from a leadership standpoint, a guy who always leads from the front, who's preparing constantly, who's trying to make his teammates better every day, who wants to compete every single day. Those are what make not only great linebackers, but great football players. Let me ask you this question. Was Sean Lee a good or a great linebacker in your Dallas Cowboys opinion? Let me know in the comments below. Come on now, let's have a conversation. But if you're just tapping in and you were not aware The OG boots on ground. Rest in peace. Momma Price has gained her wings and left us. So one thing for certain, y'all, we are all born to die. And one thing that's inevitable, you're going to pay taxes and you're going to eventually die. Drake tapping in says, General Lee number 50 making that Kool-Aid, and I'll be drinking, talking about the defense. It tastes real good. Tastes like some fruit punch right about now. Some real sweet fruit punch on a hot summer day in Dallas, right? Quenching that thirst. I love what Sean Lee is serving up, and that link is in the comments below. But going back to OAT, like we said, if you are not familiar with my blog that we started here, and I say we, because that is the group of supporters that have been supporting that content since 2016 by keeping the lights on at officialamericas.team.com. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. Now, if you'd be interested in supporting the Patreon and supporting stories like these for the Dallas Cowboys, I'm going to place my Patreon link in the comments below. We have competitions coming up in April and in May. We have a grand prize and an annual competition going on right now. You can compete your way to a fishing trip in July of next year with a boatload of Cowboy fans and the coldest Cowboy fans I know in Alaska. That's right. We're raising the bar in 2026. So that Patreon link is in the comments below. Thank you to all of our Patreons, our Raise the Bar members, our stakeholders, our State Board of Governors. There's different memberships there to support the only blog sharing stories like Mrs. Price's. This is way back in 2017, y'all. Now, we've got plenty of other super fan stories, and we got other fan stories that are coming out this year, too, as well. As you see the update on the site, it's officially been painted, facelifted. As you can see, the orange on orange. But that link is in the comments below. Yeah, the Cowboys have to travel to Seattle, and I'm almost willing to bet. I might just go to the casino and put some money on this prop bet. I normally don't like betting on the NFL, but I will bet on a prop bet where the Cowboys will open up against the Seahawks. Why? Everybody, man, we don't want to see the Cowboys and the Seahawks, man. Don't nobody want to see the Dallas Cowboys. You a damn lie. Everybody want to see the Cowboys. You know how many viewers the Cowboys bring in? Now, we didn't bring as many viewers as Bad Bunny did in that halftime show. But we did have the most streamed regular season watch game last season against the Kansas City Chiefs on Thanksgiving. Now, think about that. We eclipsed the number against the Eagles on the opening day where the Cowboys and the Eagles open up on Amazon Prime. Those numbers eclipsed from Thanksgiving on opening day. And I'm almost certain that if the Cowboys were to play the Seattle Seahawks on opening night this fall, they'll bust all three of those numbers in again. Because I'm telling you something, man, Seahawks is up here. They got this parade here tomorrow, y'all. Them 12s is going crazy up here. Them 12s is going crazy up here. And I even heard a couple of them say, yeah, we want them Cowboys next season. I'm like, oh, y'all already starting. Be careful what you ask for now, 12s. Be careful what you ask for. Morning, Sterling. How we doing? Appreciate you tapping in this morning. Top of the morning. We're celebrating the life. And this is a tribute to Mrs. Price. So if you have a Mrs. Price memory, you're more than welcome to share that memory in the comments below. If you're not familiar with who she was, she's the Dallas Cowboys #1 fan. Was and is. Nobody will replace her. She is one of one. And unfortunately, she's lost her battle with cancer. But more details will be coming out on that for services local in the DFW area and also for supporting. I'll maybe have to go find that GoFundMe page that was being shared around while she was battling that. Maybe they're still using that. I don't know. Either way, look for it in OAT today or tomorrow. We will find those informations and put that in the group for everybody looking to support. Drake says, number 50, great linebacker, leadership, loyalty, competitor, bad side, injury prone. Yeah, very injury prone. But man, look, if I could get 11 Sean Lees on the defense, just from the watching film aspect, there's been some links to maybe Sean Lee coming back being an advisor or something like that, because of the way he watched film. How many of y'all remember watching All or Nothing, the first Dallas Cowboys special on Netflix? I think it was back in 18, 19, somewhere around there. All or Nothing when it came out, right? And it had Sean Lee. He was constantly in the film room. Yeah, I wish I had about 11 Sean Lees on this defense, and we had 11 folks that look at film the way Sean Lee did Drake. Oh, man, this defense would go from the bottom to the top real quick. But what's shaking in other Dallas Cowboys news? Let's take a look at the Googler and let's see what's happening. Yeah, I'm real interested in, as we were talking about George Pickens, talk about that just for a little bit. Are the Cowboys going to actually tag George Pickens? They've got this tag window we've got to operate from. Y'all know the new season kicks off on March 11th with free agency frenzy. So it's going to be coming here very fast, very quickly. Make sure you come join us on Sunday. If you're paying attention and you watch college football, you're paying attention to the draft. You've got a vested interest in how the Cowboys want to spend their 8 draft picks in this draft. You want to come and join us. We're going to be doing mock drafts on every show. Our first episode, we're going to be talking about best player available. And, I'm hearing more and more things that the Cowboys are more likely maybe on that second pick in the first round at 20 to trade back for an extra pick to give us 9 total picks. If that were to happen, let me know down there in the comments below. Are you okay with the Cowboys trading back after that first pick at 12? Because that BPA scenario that we're going to be talking about on this Sunday, what happens when a CD Lamb falls to number 12? As Stephen Jones has already came out and prepared us for, we want defense, but there's this thing called BPA. And if a CD Lamb lands at number 12, well, defense is out the door, kind of like it was when they drafted CD Lamb back in 2021, 20. Yeah. BPA scenario is going to be important to know. And that's why we're kicking off our 10-episode series with BPA. That'll be the foundation, because you never know what's going to happen in the first round. It might be a Laramie Tunsil incident. How many of y'all remember the Laramie Tunsil with the gas mask and smoking weed and things like that? Yeah, any kind of crazy stuff could happen. But I'm okay if we trade back at that 20th pick for an extra pick, because 9 is better than 8. Right? We need all of the fresh bodies we can get. But I know that number 1 pick at 12, whether it be offense or defense. Now, I could not see the Cowboys going offense, but y'all know crazier things have happened. So you got to get your popcorn ready. But we're going to need to pick up a corner, an edge, or somebody at pick 12 in that first round that's going to have to come off cleats on ground in that first game and have an impact, right? Starboy tapping in says, new coaching staff going to be on the boys' head. We're going to turn it around. I love the youth. The youth movement is in Dallas when it comes to coaching. If you're a Cowboys fan that have been screaming, get rid of the old coaches, let's get some new, younger coaches, make sure you like this video and let me know you're happy that the youth movement is currently going on with the Cowboys. But not a whole lot of other news really shaking other than the Mrs. Price departure, which unfortunately that's what brought us here together this morning. I wanted to take my time to make sure and give Mrs. Price my flowers publicly here today. I know a lot of Cowboys fans are now giving Miss Price her flowers publicly, which is great. They are warranted. They are due. The Dallas Cowboys #1 fan has gone and passed, and I'm just hoping that the Dallas Cowboys will do something right by honoring her. What'd she say when she said, Tony Romo, I'm running out of money. We're going to have to do something real quick. I felt that. Boots on ground fans that got to come out of pocket to go around to events and games and things like that. Like, come on, Cowboys, we need y'all to get a return on that investment. Maybe the Cowboys get a return on the investment this season with that new younger coach movement coming in. We got money. We got picks. Got a little culture change. Now, one of the things last season that was a eyesore that we're going to have to change this season is the Dallas Cowboys led the league in penalties during the regular season at 133 penalties. The Cowboys are going to have to get the disciplined opponent under control starting in training camp, starting in rookie mini camps and all of that. So we'll be keeping up with that as news breaks and other things that happens over the course of this week. So we thank you for tapping in here this morning on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Facebook to remember the Dallas Cowboys #1 fan. Like I said, we will be picking back up on Sunday. Position predictions kicks off. Me, my girl Kales. We're going to have special guests every week. Shout out to all of our special guests that we have locked in. That's right. We're bringing new faces up this season to discuss how should the Cowboys spend those precious 8 draft picks in this upcoming draft in Pittsburgh this April. Todd says he's happy for them younger coaches. Hopefully all the old heads out there that were screaming, go younger, go younger, go. Hopefully y'all are happy too. I know I'm happy because sky's the limit. The great thing about being at the bottom of this defensive stack coming in this year is they get to the middle of the stack. That's progress. Anything moving this defense up is progress. If we would have been in the middle of the pack last year, even at 7-9-1, we might have messed around and made the playoffs. Even with last season and everything that it entailed, which is scary. The Cowboys can move from the bottom of the pack defensively up to the middle of the pack. I think we're going to be just fine as long as we retain George Pickens' services, because that #2 offense in the regular season last year behind Dak Prescott throwing for 4,500 yards, just behind Matt Stafford of the Rams, who was the MVP of the season. Daddy Dak got something to come back to prove in year 11. So the Cowboys keep this offense together. The offense is set. We need to get these defensive pieces because we can move from the bottom to the middle of the pack. The Dallas Cowboys looking like they might be able to crack that playoff window again next year. And who knows what happens from there. But, hey, it is the beginning of a new season now. The 2025 season is over. It is the 2026 season, and it's our year until it ain't. And this season is dedicated to the #1 fan, Carolyn Price, as we celebrate her memory here today. So thank y'all for tapping in on all 3 channels. I appreciate you. If you watch this after the fact, leave a comment down there below. Use #replay and leave me your favorite memory of Miss Price. I want to hear from you. We'll come back and answer all of those as we remember today the Dallas Cowboys #1 fan is and will continue to be. We'll see y'all in the gym on the next episode.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.